हरे कृष्णा प्रभु।
Hare Krishna, Rasaprayan Prabhu. Can't hear you. You are muted. Please unmute.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु।
Prabhu, unmute karo. We can't hear you.
हाँ, रेडी है। अनम्यूट हो गए।
Okay.
हरे कृष्णा।
Now we
hear
can
me
hear
प्रभु?
you. Yeah, you can start when you're ready.
हरि बोल।
Hari Bol. Abhay Channel Prabhu, we can share the screen. Leela
हरे
Mitra.
कृष्णा प्रभु।
Hare Krishna.
I'm sharing the screen, Prabhu.
Thank you.
हरे कृष्णा। ओके। What is there? ऑडियो सुनाए? ओके, कोई हम चेक करता है। जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधवा जय बिहारी। हे गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन, यशोदानंदन ब्रजन रंजन, यशोदानंदन जन रंजन। मन पीरा वनचारी, मन पीरा वनचारी, जय राधा माधव जय बिहारी, राधा माधव जय बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन, यशोदानंदन जन रंजन, यमुना तीरावतारी, यमुना तीरावतारी। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radha, Jai Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radha, Jai Radha Giridhari Radha Giridhari Radha, Jai Radha Giridhari Radha Giridhari Radha. Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev, Gurudev. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev. Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Shri Shri Radha Giridhari ki jai, श्री बलदेव सुभद्रा जगन्नाथ भगवान की जय, श्री गौर निताई की जय, वैष्णव वृंद की जय. Hare Krishna, welcome everyone. We'll start off with reading from the Prabhupada Lilamrit.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
The
Dandavat
doctor didn't want to be impeded. He explained why a spinal tape was necessary, but he wasn't asking for consultation or permission. Everyone except for Kirtanand, who insisted on staying, had to leave the room while the doctor performed this spinal tape. Neither Prabhupada, who was too weak, nor his boys, who were uncertain how to act on his behalf, opposed the doctor. The devotees filed out of Prabhupada's room while the doctor readied the largest, most frightening needle they had ever seen. When they were allowed back, one disciple asked cautiously, "Did it hurt Swamiji?" Srila Prabhupada, his golden skin form wrapped in white hospital garments, and lying between the white sheets, turned slightly and said, "We are tolerant." Rupanuga, when Swamiji was first admitted to the hospital, it was very hard for me. I didn't know how I should act. I didn't have much experience with this kind of emergencies. I was very uncertain as to what service to do for Swamiji. It was a frightening experience. Swamiji's life was at stake, yet his disciples didn't know what to do to save him. He lay on the bed as if at their mercy, but the hospital staff considered him their property. An old man with heart trouble, a subject of investigation. And for Swami's disciples, this was 100 times worse than dealing with Mr. Price and company. Now it was not just a matter of risking money, but of risking Swamiji. Should they allow the EEG? What was an EEG? Was an operation necessary? An operation, but Swamiji had said he should never even even he. But Swamiji had said that it should never even be brought to hospital. Give me massage was all he had said, and chant Hare Krishna. Is that all? Thank you, Hare Krishna. Okay, let's today's reading. Let me get the text. Wait, share again.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, do you want me to
Bear
share
with
the
me.
screen
Let
as
me
well?
share this text. Oh, thank you. Is it shared? Hare Krishna, somebody confirm if it's shared.
Yes, Prabhuji. All.
Hare Krishna. Today's reading is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, the creation of the fourth order, chapter 31. Narad instructs the Parichadas in text 3. Tan nirjita prana manovacho drisho. Tan nirjita prana manovacho drisho. Jitasanan shanta saman vigrahan. Jitasanan shanta saman vigrahan. Paremale brahmani yojitatmana. Paremale brahmani yojitatmana. Surasure dhyo dadrishe sama narada. Surasure dayo dadrishe sama narada. Tan nirjita prana mano vacho drisho. Jitasana shanta sana saman vigrahan. Paremale brahmni yojitatmana. Surasure dayo drisho sama narada. Tanne nirjita prana mano vacho drisho. Chitasana natna shanta saman vigrahan. Paremale brahmni yojitatmana. Surasure dayo drishe samanarada. Someone please.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandot Pranam. Tannirjita prana manavacha
Hare Krishna.
drisha.
What's happening?
Hare Krishna.
Somebody
Tannirjita
read it,
prana.
please.
Hare Krishna. Tannirjita prana manavacha drisha. Jitasana shanta shamana vigrahan. Paramale brahmani yogita. Jojitatmana shura asuratyo dadrishasmanarada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, sir.
कोई सुना दे, कोई पढ़े नहीं?
Nirjita prana mano vacho
तो हमें नहीं
drisho.
सुना.
Jita sanan shanta samana vigrahan. Hare mole brahmani yogitatmanaha. Sura sureddo dadrishe smanaradaha. Hare Krishna.
Okay, we are.
Dandavat Pranam.
Dhanvat Pranam. Sorry, didn't have my audio on. I was sort of isolated, wondering what's happening. Please, Mataji, read.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Tanirjita pranomono bacho drisho jita shonan shanto somano vigrahan परे अमले ब्रह्मणि योजितात्मनः सुरासुरेभ्य ददृशे स्म नारदः.
Thank you. Somebody else, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. I am also
Dhanavad Mother. Yeah, please.
Tanirjito prano mano vacho driso jita shanan santa samana vigrahan pare amale brahmani jatitmanaha sura sureddo dadrishe sma naradaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Somebody else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dhanavad Mataji.
तान निर्जीत प्राण मनोवचो दृशो जीता सनान शांत समान विग्रहान परे अमले ब्रह्मणि युजितात्मना सुर असुर दयो दृशे समानारदा. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Anybody else? Okay. Synonyms. Tan, all of them. Nirjita, completely controlled. Pran, the life air by the pranayam process. Mana, mind. Vacha, words. Drisha, and vision. Jitasanan, who conquered the yogic asana or sitting posture. Santa, pacified. Saman, straight. Vigrahan, whose bodies. Pare, transcendental. Amale, free from all material contamination. Brahmani, in the supreme. Yojita, engaged. Atmana, whose minds. Sura asura, idhya, worshipped by the demons and by the demigods. Dadrashe, so, Sama, in the past, Narada, the great sage Narad. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. After practicing the yogasana for mystic yoga, the Parichatas managed to control their life air, mind, words, and external vision. Thus, by the pranayam process, they were completely relieved of material attachment. By remaining perpendicular, they could concentrate their minds on the uppermost Brahman. While they were practicing this pranayam, the great sage Narad, who is worshipped both by demons and by demigods, came to see them. Yeah, please forward. Thank you. Purport: in these ways, the words pare amane are significant. The realization of Brahman is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. The absolute truth is realized in three phases. The impersonal effulgence, Brahman, that's the energy of the Lord, localized Paramatma, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan. In his prayers, Lord Shiva concentrated upon the personal feature of Brahman, Para Brahman, described in personal terms as Snigdha Signa Pravada Ghana Sayam, Bhagavatam, Canto 4, chapter 24, text 45. Following the instructions of Lord Shiva, the Parichatas also concentrated their minds on the Shyam Sundar form of the Supreme Brahman. Although impersonal Brahman, Paramatma Brahman, and Brahman as the Supreme Person are all on the same transcendental platform, the personal features of the Supreme Brahman is the ultimate goal and the last word in transcendence. The great sage Narad travels everywhere. He goes to the demons and the demigods and is equally respected. He is consequently described herein as Surasuradya, worshipped both by demons and by demigods. For Narad Muni, the door of every house is open, although there is perpetual animosity between the demons and the demigods. Narad Muni is welcome everywhere. Narad is considered one of the demigods, of course, and the word Devrisi means the saintly person among the demigods. But not even the demons envy Narad Muni. Therefore, he is equally worshipped both by demons and by demigods. A perfect Vaishnava position should be just like Narad Muni's, completely independent and unbiased. Read the text. Never mind. नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते लोकनाथ स्वामिनीति नाम्ने नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनीति नाम्ने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारणे मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंगड़ायति गिरियं यत्कृपातं हम वंदे गुरुदीन तारणे अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुमिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सागन रघुनाथं वितं तं सजीवम् सद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजन सहित कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सागना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितं च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते। जयतं सुरतो पंगोर मम मन मतेर गति मत सर्वस पदम भोज राधा मदन मोहनो। तप्त कांचन गौरंगे राधे वृंदाविनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि प्रिये। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभयश्च कृपा सिन्धुभयो एव च पतितनां पावनभयो वैष्णव्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Thank you very much and welcome everyone to today's Srimad Bhagavatam class. Today's reading is Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 4, the creation of the fourth order, chapter 31. Narad instructs the Parichatas, and text 3, which is said, Tan nirjita prana manovacho drisho jitansanan santa samana vigrahan pare male brahmani jyote tatmanaha sura suradhyo drisho sama narada. After practicing the yogasana for mystic yoga, the Parichatas managed to control their life, air, mind, words, and external vision. Thus, by pranayam process, they were completely relieved of material attachment. By remaining perpendicular, that means straight, they could concentrate their minds on the uppermost Brahman. While they were practicing this pranayam, the great sage Narad, who is worshipped by the demons and by demigods, came to see them. Remember, just recouping the This story so far, the Parachata said, gone for doing tapasya, and then on the way they met Lord Shiva, who gave them the prayer to pray for Lord Krishna, and he instructed them to pray to Lord Krishna. And they went, and the pranayam process is mentioned here because they went in the sea, under the water, and by controlling, remember we can't breathe underwater, but these people managed to stay there by controlling their breathing process through pranayam, and they stayed there for 10,000 years. And finally, they had the darshan of Lord Krishna, and in the last chapter, we heard that they were instructed to marry Pramalocha and Kandu's daughter, who was left behind when Pramalocha, the Apsara, left the daughter in care of the forest or the trees, who they could not care. Then the Lord of the is mentioned in the Bhagavatam, the king of the forest, who's also king of the moon planet, is Chandra. He looked after the girl. And they were blessed when Lord Krishna gave them darshan. They were blessed to also had the blessings. And Lord Krishna blessed them to rule for 1 million celestial years. Prabhupada had mentioned in his purport when on the same text where he was blessed, the Prabhupada mentioned that our 6 months is 12 hours of the 12 hours in the demigods. So 1 million celestial years be 12 months of our 1 year. 1 year is 1 celestial day, because 6 months is 12 hours, so 24 hours is one whole year. And 1 million years will be 365 million days, so 365 million years. So they ruled for that long, that many years. And I'm just recapping some of the things. Earlier, we read about Hari. Remember, the meaning of Hari means one who takes away all miserable conditions. Remember, one of the names of Lord Krishna is Hari. So he takes away all miserable conditions. And the word Hari Medas means that the Lord is always planning ways to deliver the conditioned soul from the clutches of Maya. So Prabhupada has mentioned that Brahma realization is in 3 stages, which is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, Text 11. Vadanti tat tattva vedas tattvam yajja eshanam advayam brahmeti paramatmateti bhagwan iti sabdaya. The absolute, the translation is the absolute realization in three phases, no, phases or stages: Brahman, Paramatmana, and Bhagwan. Brahmanam is the effulgence, the Brahma Jyoti that we say in Hindi or in Sanskrit. And Paramatma is the localized. Localized means Paramatma is in ourselves, in our heart. So the next phase is Paramatma, and the third phase is Bhagwan. Bhagwan is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Remember, it's the same person at the three different stages, phases. You first get to know of the Brahma Jyoti, the effulgence around the Lord. And then next is the Lord within ourselves, in our heart, the Paramatma form. And finally, the Supreme Personality of God, the Bhagwan. The Leonard translation, the Prabhupada explains in the purport of that verse is the Leonard transcendentalists who know the absolute truth call the non-dual substance Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. It's the same thing, but different forms. Brahmana is the impersonal effulgence. There's no personality in it. It's just the energy of the Lord, the effulgence around it, the Jyoti. It is the all-pervading or penetrating or powerful spiritual light that emanates from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Brahman is often realized by those who follow the path of Jnana Yoga, studying the scriptures or knowledge. Jnana Yoga means, remember, it's knowledge. And is considered the first level of realization of the absolute truth. And the second stage is Paramatma form, the super soul in us. This is the localized aspect of the Supreme, residing in the hearts of all living entities as the super soul, Paramatma. Is realized by those who practice Hatha Yoga and meditation. It represents the second phase of realization, where the Supreme is perceived as the inner guide and witness of all actions. Remember that he is a guide, and if we ask him, and he also witnesses everything that we do. And the third stage of third phase, Bhagwan, this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate realization of the absolute truth. Bhagwan is the personal form of the Lord, endowed with all opulences and qualities. Devotees who engage in bhakti or devotional service realize this aspect of the Lord. Remember, the first aspect, the Brahma Jyoti, is experienced by the Jnanis, Paramatma is yogis, and the Bhaktas, devotees, realize the Bhagwan, the absolute truth, the Supreme Personality. Bhagwan is considered the highest realization, where the Supreme is understood as a person with whom one can have a loving relationship. Remember, in the other forms, in the Jyoti form, the effulgence form, there is no personality, we can't talk to the person, have a conversation or request anything, because it's just the light and Paramatma. Yeah, some of us can claim that we can communicate with Paramatma form, but remember, in the actual form, when the Lord is face to face with us, we can communicate directly with the Supreme Person. The Supreme, this Srimad Bhagavatam further elaborates that these three aspects are different perspectives of the same absolute truth. They are not different things, but different perspectives, different stages, seen from different angles of vision. The same substance is realized as impersonal Brahman by the students of the Upanishads or the literature, as localized Paramatma by the yogis, and Bhagwan by the devotees. This highlights the non-dual nature of the absolute truth, which can be realized in different ways depending on one's spiritual practice and level of realization. And going back to the stories, remember the Paretas, they had a daughter who gave birth to Daksha. Remember, this is the second birth of Daksha, the Prajapati. The first one was Manas, son of Brahma. Manas, mentally created by Brahma, and who had offended Lord Shiva by not inviting him in his yajna. And when Mother Sati sacrificed herself, and Lord Shiva sent Veerbhadra to control the things. Veerbhadra beheaded Daksha, threw his head in the sacrificial fire, and there was a lot of fighting going between the two parties. And finally, when Lord Shiva arrived there, he was, was furious, but the demigods and everybody present there managed to pray and pacified him. And because Daksha was Prajapati, in charge of creation, populating the earth, so they managed to pacify him, and then he pardoned his father-in-law. Daksha was his father-in-law, and he told his followers to go and get the head of the first person they meet. And the first person they met the soul was a goat, and they brought the head of a goat, and Lord Shiva brought Daksha back to life with a goat head. And you can realize that how Daksha must have felt. Of course, he felt he realized his mistake, and he was so humiliated that later on he went and did perform austerities, gave up his body. And of course, the Lord Shiva, when he was performing his tapasya, the austerities, Lord Shiva came and blessed him to get a new human form. And so he was born as a son of Pretas. And the story of Veerbhadra of killing Daksha and Lord Shiva restoring his life with the head of a goat is seen as a symbol of destructive power of anger. How Lord Shiva was when he was angry, and Veerbhadra also angry, and how much commotion they had created. And also the importance of forgiveness. Finally, Lord Shiva forgave him, and also blessed him to be reborn with a normal body. He was, Lord Shiva transplanted a goat head on him, and now, this time he'll be born as in human form. So it's the destruction of anger and importance of forgiveness. It shows that even when we make mistakes, we can seek for forgiveness and pardon, and as long if we are willing to learn from our mistakes. This story also highlights the importance of respecting and honoring others, even those we may disagree with or have differences or conflicting ideas. It also highlights the themes of arrogance. We remember Daksha, he was due to his arrogance that he did not invite. He personally wanted to insult Lord Shiva, but also insulted his youngest daughter. So arrogance, anger, forgiveness, illustrating the transformative power of humility and devotion. This shows the power of humility and devotion. And blessings. Daksha's sincere penance pleased the demigods, and he was eventually blessed to be reborn in our human form. The blessings is often attributed to Lord Shiva, who forgave him. So that's all anybody would like to. The main is the three different stages of realizing the Supreme Personality of God and the Brahman, Brahman form, Paramatma and Bhagwan. So that's all I have to my contribution. Anybody would like to further elaborate on it or comment? Please go forward.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Dhanwad, Prabhu.
Thank you very much for elaborating the text in a very suitable way to understand how this prachetas, how this Birbhadra, the story of Birbhadra and how Daksha came into in second existence. The nice story elaborated and the understanding of the three stages of our realization, which is really the same person, but in the different stages, as mentioned by Gyanis, Yogis, and devotees. So here we can see how this when one is committing mistakes in the past life, how it can be rectified by suitable instruction, and we can see from this Daksha's life and the second bar. Yes, it can be rectified by suitable arrangement of the Lord when following the instruction.
May I interrupt there, Prabhu? It's not the arrangement of the Lord, it's our realization that we have made a mistake and accept our mistake and seek for forgiveness. That is the main gist of the story. It's not left on the Supreme Personality or the Paramatma. It's us realizing our own mistake and then rectifying it. The story actually highlights that if we make a mistake, don't be arrogant like Daksha. Keep creating more and more trouble, but simply realize your mistake, seek for forgiveness. The story tells us the power of accepting our mistake and also power of forgiveness, that Daksha was, we don't have to go through this same process that Daksha went through. So that is the teaching of this story, that we don't need to go through the processes. Soon as we realize, main thing is don't be arrogant. You made a mistake, realize it and accept it and seek forgiveness. And it also highlights the destructive power of anger. he annoyed, offended Lord Shiva, and nobody could control his anger. But he was pacified after lots of prayers from the demigods present in that yajna. Sorry to interrupt you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for guiding the proper way of expressing that thing. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, that is what actually is a text talking about. It is the power of the devotee who can forgive us. That's why when we really do some mistakes, whether knowingly or unknowingly, we should approach the person directly, and with their blessings only, things can be rectified. And you can see from this story. And this is what is explained today. And here, talking about Narad Muni. Narad Muni is one such a great devotee who is unparalleled to each and every one, whether it is Dimana or a devotee, is the same. He is never envious to anyone. So the quality of Narad Muni you can see from here, how he is very indifferent to everybody, never changes his position, whether it is become whether a devotee or a demon, he is same to everyone. And that is the greatness of Rishi Narad Muni.
Vaishnavas, this Prabhupada has mentioned in the paper that we as Vaishnavas should be following the footsteps of Narada.
Narad Muni.
Anybody else? Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hello, anybody? Any contribution, please come forward. No, let me wind it up. Wind it down, sorry. Tan nirjita prana mano vancho drisho jitasanan shanta samana vigraha pare amale brahmani yojitatmana sura sure dayo dadrishe samananarada. After practicing the yogasana for mystic yoga, the Prachetas managed to control their life, air, mind, words, and external vision. Thus, by the pranayama process, they were completely relieved of material attachment. By remaining perpendicular, they could concentrate their minds on the uppermost Brahman. While they were practicing this pranayama, the great sage Narad, who is worshipped both by demons and the demigods, came to see them. Thank you very much. Srimad Grantaraj, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Vaishnav Brinda ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhascha kripa sindhu vaischa. Patitanam pavan Vaishnavyo
नमो नमः
Anantakoti
Vaishnava ki jai. Srila
Jai
Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Ila Prabhupada ki
Prabhupada
Jai.
ki jai.
Lord Premanande
Hari
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 Bol.
Hari Bol.
All glories to the
Yes, sir.
assembled
Hari
devotees.
devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.